Hello everyone, this is Dr. N.Senthil Madasamy, Associate Professor Computer Science Engineering. Great pleasure for me to welcome you all for this session. In this session, topic to be covered is first part of networking devices. At the end of Unit 4, the students will be able to describe the steps involved in investigating network forensics for attacks. At the end of the session, the students will be able to understand proxy servers, web servers, THP servers, SNTP servers, and DNS servers under networking devices. When learning about network forensics, it is imperative to learn about devices that have logging capabilities and therefore contain historical evidence for investigators. Investigators must note that all different system times for each networking server or device. In other words, data can be routed through several networking servers, and all these server time stamps will differ for one another. A defense attorney might challenge prosecutors about this stand. All of the following network devices have logging capabilities. In this session, we will discuss about the following networking devices: proxy servers, web servers, THP servers, SNTP servers, DNS servers. In next session, we will discuss about the following networking devices: routers, switches, hub, IDS, firewalls. A proxy server is computer that relays a request for a client to a server computer. This is important to know because a suspect might actually use another computer or multiple computers as an intermediary to request information from a server. Therefore, investigators might seize a web server posting illicit photographs of minors. But the client request to download pages or images might access of unsuspecting individuals who had their computers compromised by hackers. Good is a hatching proxy service that can be used to increase performance on web server by hatching popular requests, and it can also catch DNS, web, and network lookups. Web cache is of interest to forensics investigators because it can provide invaluable information about internet activity through request to a web server. A web server stores and serves up HTML document resources in response to client request. In other words, when you type a URL into your web browser and press enter, a data packet is sent to that web server that includes your IP address. In turn, the web page, HTML file and associated media files is sent to your computer and saved. If you visit a friend's Facebook page, you download the HTML profile page and any photos or videos, that is media files, embedded on that profile page. The forensics investigator can analyze client user request from the web server logs. When reading the log files on a web server, the following information can be obtained: date and time, source IP address, HTTP source code, resource requested. A uniform resource identifier URI is used to locate resource on the internet. The most common type of is a uniform resource locator URL, which consists of the following. First one is transmission protocol, generally hypertext transfer protocol HTTP. Second one is colon. Third one is two slashes. Fourth one is domain name translated to an IP address. Fifth one is resource HTML document or file, example .jpg file. On the client side, a web browser is used to render the hypertext markup language HTML. Before the advent of the web browser, file transport protocol FTP was used to download and upload the files from the servers on the internet. Now we primarily use the FTP to securely upload files to a web server. A web server is used to make hypertext transfer protocol HTTP request and download. Scripting language is important to understand how scripting languages on websites work. The vast majority of scripting language have legitimate purpose, like checking to see whether a client computer has an application installed plugin to view the embedded content like real player for a video clip. Nevertheless, content the scripts can be malicious. Other scripts can be used by law enforcement to identify a suspect on the network who is using the proxy service. An investigator may be called upon to explain how the scripts on a web page were executed on a suspect's computer, or perhaps the suspect was operating a web server with malicious or illicit. Can run either on client side or on server side. The scripting languages like JavaScript, the most popular, the script or VB script, are embedded in HTML pages to enable the dynamic elements and interaction. For example, a currency or temperature converter can be created with JavaScript and is interactive because it requires a number and then convert it output for the client, that is user. Of course, some scripts run on server side. Python, PHP, Perl, Java, Ruby, Cold Fusion markup language, active server pages. Dynamic host configuration protocol is a standard for allowing a server to dynamically assign IP addresses and configuration to host on network. Means that a new client can join a network without having to possess a pre-assigned IP address. The THP server assigns a unique IP address and then after a client leaves the network, that the IP address is released and can be used for new host that enters the network. THP means that the network administrator does not need to manually assign IP addresses and keep track of clients using those IP addresses, but can give THP client software to those tasks automatically. An internet service provider ISP can use THP to allow the customers to join its networks. SMTP servers, a simple mail transport protocol, is used to send email for client. The email is then routed to another SMTP server or other email server. For example, when you use the Microsoft Outlook to send an email, this email application informs an SMTP server of the sender and recipient email addresses as well as the body of the message. When sending an email to another domain, for instance, an email from Hotmail to Yahoo, the SMTP server communicates with a DNS server and requests the IP address of the SMTP server. Analyzing email requires some knowledge of the network forensics. The following listing shows a sample email that we will analyze from a network forensics perspective. Explaining certain parts are explained after the example. Line 1. This is a start of the email header. The reference to email refers to mail software running on Unix. The email includes unique ID that should correspond to the IDs in server logs. Line 2. This lists the IP address of the receiving server, which is as follows. Line number 4. Once again, this indicates the name of the server receiving the email for the recipient and shows that SMTP messaging proceed in transmission of this email. Line number 5. Here you will see the email address of the recipient along with date and time the message was received. Line 6. The IP address 216.32.180.1 is displayed with a domain name of Polysop005 messaging.microsoft.com. If you type 216.32.180.188 ipaddress.com into the browser, you can see the Microsoft host the server that is located in Chesterfield, Missouri. Line 16 to 17, you can see several references to bigfish.com, which is Microsoft Exchange server. You can check by visiting http://who.is slash whois slash bigfish.com slash dot. You can thus assert that the sender of the email is using the Microsoft Exchange, that is Outlook. Line number 22, you can see the Microsoft Forefront, that is cloud service to protect the companies from spam and phishing scams. The software has inspected the email. You can also see that the email was sent by an email server at .edu, which correspond later to the name of the sender dda at base.edu, noted in line number 41. This is important because it appears that the email has not been spoofed by the sender. Line 55, you can see MIME, noted multipurpose internet mail extensions, is a protocol for the format of email. Line number 58, this line includes a reference to FOPE connector, Microsoft Forefront online protection for connectors for advanced email functionality. Lines 63 to 68. These lines contain the body of the email. Line 72 to 137. These lines show the body of the message in HTML format. If the sender had sent a message in plain text, this HTML code would not have been generated. DNS server is naming system for computers and other devices connected to the internet. The names to IP address. For example, the IP address for the domain name www.base.edu is actually 198.105.44.27. But we use the letter names because it is easier to remember when surfing the internet. As you can see in the diagram, viewer records DNS resolution services. In this summary, we learned about proxy servers, web servers, THP servers, SNTP servers, and DNS servers under networking devices. I hope you found this video is clear about the topic I lecture. Thank you and have a pleasant day.